is authentic and is real. And if you can pitch and hit, you can pitch and hit for us. You can pitch and hit in the college. You can hit and pitch in the majors. If you can play
Yeah.
9 positions, play them 9 positions. Don't need no coach telling me, oh, we good at all these positions. No, if a player can play 4 positions better than your starters can play their position, he should be moved in and worked in and allowed to do those things. It's too restrictive in America. It's too based on culture and it's too based on race. And in Japan, they don't have them problems because everybody Japanese.
Woof, man, yo, come on through with the fresh take. All right, let me say this as well, just to add to what you're saying. I don't think that if Shohei Ohtani was American, he would have been a two-way player.
No, that's my point. Thank you. As usual, you
They wouldn't
get
have
it.
let him do it. They would not
Thank
have let
you.
him do it. They would have been like,
Thank you.
no, what you talk about, you little Yankee boy? If you don't take your PO position or your position only position, if you don't get your ass in the outfield or get somewhere
Yes.
where you can catch
Thank
the ball
you.
so we can use your bat. But he was
Thank
like,
you.
to his credit, he was like, nah, for what I understand, Shohei was not even interested in coming to America until he learned that he could play as a two-way player from one of the last teams he was on in Japan. They was like, yeah, maybe you can when you get over there. And that was one of the things that attracted him to the Angels, is that they was willing to allow him to explore the two-way playing.
Right.
They're not going to let that happen with any average Negro. You're not going to let Lawrence Butler, you know what I'm saying,
No.
try to hit and pitch. Even though we know CC Sabathia hit and pitch, we know Bob Gibson hit. We know back in the day that was the norm. Before the DH came into this AL, like into the NL, which I know it was on the AL first, like there wasn't the option of being able to have,
Dwight
like
Gooden
the
could
pitchers
hit.
were automatically.
Rick
Yes, come
Russell
on.
could hit. Rick
So,
Russell, Dwight
so
Gooden. There's some known hitters among pitchers that could have played.
Wainwright.
There's some pitchers that actually hit eighth in the National League when they play instead of ninth. That were automatic outs. But you said it best, Vince. And this is what I always say. And more people need to listen to us because Americans have the most talented athletes in the world. They're not always the most disciplined, and they come from a culture where certain kinds of athletes are entitled, and others have to work hard. And and the main thing that is, they won't allow, like you said, a player to play two-way. But I'm sure there's many that could have done it. They did it as little leaguers. They did it as high school. They just think the concentration, like they assume, they say it's too hard to
Exactly.
play 2 positions when people been doing it. And some people are better playing two
Yeah.
positions and keep them in the
Yeah.
game and keep them more
Right.
focused. Otani
Yeah.
clearly has no problem pitching. He just runs out there, throws his 6, 7 innings, might give up 1 run, three, none. It's sick.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but it also makes me think, man, there's definitely guys that could do this as well. And to call
Yeah.
him the greatest player ever, because only he's gotten the opportunity to do it, that's why I take some reservation there because I'm sure there's
Yeah.
some world class athletes. Imagine Dave Winfield at 6'6", 240, who did pitch, being allowed to continue pitching. What are you
Exactly.
talking about?
100%. Yeah.
What are you
And
telling me
and
right now?
and not only just continue pitching, bro. Because what I believe was happening, and you tell me if I'm wrong, because I don't know if I paid as close attention when I was younger, but I don't think
Right.
that if you were a pitcher, I don't think that they really honed in on your batting skills. You were more just kind of like a bat that had to bat because it was the rule. You weren't like out there swinging BP, trying to make sure that you could hit outside of the park. Like you were just like,
No.
look, as long as I don't strike out, if I could just get on base, if I can get a walk, as long as but now
And lay
you
a
have
bunt
the
down. And lay a bunt
right,
down.
lay a bunt, do whatever, anything other than just getting us an out, But with Ohtani, it's like, nah, you can actually pitch and hit well, and not only hit well, but do it in the same game. Like we all saw what he did in that fourth
Yep.
game with of the Milwaukee Brewers season, which some are still saying is possibly one of the greatest postseason performances of our generation.
For sure.
I'm sure Rob Parker would have differences. I still hold Bob Gibson at the top of that with his performance in 1967 with the
Yep.
17
Home
strikeouts.
run.
Yeah, with the home run too as well. So I'm not willing to let that one go. But let me say this real quick, and then I want to get your take on something else. So Ohtani laid the foundation, in my opinion, for Travis Hunter. Different subject. All right. But
Yep.
what he's done is he's opened the minds of those that had been restricted to a certain
Mm.
type of baseball that had to be played. And it's starting to
Right.
show them like, yo, it don't have to be like that. And I don't think that it's a coincidence that both of these players that just basically defied the laws of MLB are both on the Los Angeles Dodgers team. I say that to segue into the fact that they are being managed by Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts, who successfully now has managed a team 3 times in this decade to the World Series for victories. And for some reason, he's not listed amongst the Manager of the Year finalists. I know that this is just of the year, but I was curious with regard to you and your experience and your expertise. I haven't always tracked these things. You know, my baseball fever has been rekindled in this decade. It took a slump in the turn of the century when I thought I was a thug. When I tried to be a gangster, when I was still in college, when I was focused on other things. But I'm just curious as to how common it is for the manager that wins the World Series to be left off consideration for Manager of the Year. This is second year in the row that Dave Roberts has won the World Series, that has defied the odds, who brought his team. And I know they feel like it's easy, but they could have lost last year as well.
No,
Walker Buehler wasn't supposed to be in that game. He did the same thing Yama did. If you think about it, he opened the game before and then he closed the game after. They don't always have the pitching squad in order. Why is it that we never see Dave Roberts listed amongst the consideration? This is not something that's built off stats. This is an award that's voted on by the BBWAA. So it's not like they're like, oh, well, he didn't have enough. No, they were just like, these are the folks that we feel are. And one of these, I will note,
right,
it just was in the World Series. So don't give me that. Oh, well, he was in the World Series. Well, John Schneider. Are you trying to tell me if John Schneider hadn't won that he wouldn't have been on here? So, I mean, just talk me down. Am I tripping? I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like Dave Roberts, at bare minimum, should be at the top 3 of this list.
No, it's the same reason why people are saying Cal Riley's a better MVP candidate than Aaron Judge, right? It's fatigue. You got to realize we live in this 24-hour cook pot. Most people have no clue of what they're talking about, what they're looking at. I'm on social. They're so adamant about the fact that they know when they absolutely know nothing. Now, Manager of the Year awards have always been, what have you done for me lately, popularity contest. Once you, for whatever reason, based on BBWA writers, I know many, I guess their mentality is, look at how many times did Joe Torre win, Manager of the Year. Like, once you win and they think you have a juggernaut team, they don't give the manager any credit. And then I'm going to take it a step further. Dave Roberts is a black man, bro. I know they be like, well, I'm telling you, he's a brother. So he getting carried, right?
That's
he
exactly what I'm thinking.
He don't know nothing, right? He don't really know nothing.
It ain't him. It's the team he got. If you give anybody this team, then anybody will win with it. And I just think that's complete bullshit. It's completely against the fact that he had to move his star player, one of his star players, Mookie Betts, down in the lineup. He had to say, yo, look, bro, this ain't working. You know what I'm saying? I got to move you down. And that could have high consequences. It could fuck his whole mentality up. He could go to the World Series being like, dang, am I not good enough? But he had to have the right managerial experience to be able to convey that in a manner that would still allow him to perform. Same thing, Will Smith. He could have put Will Smith further down, but he put him at 2. Same thing with Miggy Rowe. Decided to put him in Game 6. And if you listen to the interviews, Dave Roberts didn't say, well, Miggy Rowe, he showed that at second base he's so good. No, Miggy Rowe has a certain energy. We needed energy. He plugged them onto the roster. To the lineup, because it was like they slacking out there. We're down 3-2. Going back to Toronto, we cannot go back out there with the same energy. So
I gotta play my gut.
Right? These moves to put Yamamoto back in the game. I don't think everybody would have done that. And so,
but you gotta
getting even consideration. I feel like he's being slighted, bro. And I agree with you.